broadcasting worldwide from a studio inside global headquarters of RP Enterprises in Kansas City.
Hey, gang! Ladies and gentlemen, Papa's home!
This is the Papa Ron Podcast.
File transfer in progress.
With Ronnie Phillips and Jillian Gregg.
Showtime.
We are into episode 31 of the Papa Ron Podcast, and it's brought to you by Brown Piercy Cattle Company. For years, they have been breeding registered Angus cattle for generations with one thought in mind: quality beef for customers. Their goal is to deliver prime-graded beef directly to customers' homes more affordably than you can purchase them at the store. Better beef conveniently delivered at a lower price in the grocery store. Find them online at brownpiercycattle.com and thank them for being our official sponsor of the Papa Ron Podcast, where every guest on the Papa Ron Podcast will also get a gift pack of beef. And our guest today is going to get a special prize pack, gift pack of beef and pork and all kinds of great stuff from Brown Piercy Cattle Company. Welcome to episode 31 of the Papa Ron Podcast. You know him as Kansas City Superman. His name is Michael Wheeler. Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
Thanks so much for being here.
I'm super excited.
We've been working on this for a while, Jill. I think, probably a couple months that we talked about maybe trying to get him on, and there's been some back and forth.
Yep. It's taken a little bit because he was busy with the Super Bowl and stuff.
Did you go?
You know?
Yeah, that's number 28 in a row.
No, that's the 28th Super Bowl you've been to?
Never inside yet, but I have super fun meeting people. They throwing the football and just...
So when you go to the Super Bowl, and we're going to get into why you do what you do, but when you go to the Super Bowl, it is to dress up as Superman,
right,
run around and spread the word of God, right?
Right.
I mean, but do you actually get to go into the game?
Not yet.
You haven't been inside yet. So you're just trying to get there just to be in front of all those people.
And I had to come out of retirement because I can't retire until I be official mascot for the Chiefs.
Well, maybe they did kind of retire the whole war paint thing.
That is true.
So maybe, you know how war paint, the horse used to run, or maybe they could get you. See, why not?
I didn't. Okay,
why not?
That's a good observation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There might be an opportunity for you.
Might be an opportunity.
So what do people call you Michael? Or do they call you KC Superman, or do they call you Superman? I've also heard the term Superman Jesus. So what is the most top popular name?
Most KC Superman.
Okay.
Yeah, KC Superman. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say this before I lead into the first question, and it's basically with an apology.
Okay.
Because the first time I saw you, I was hosting on stage in the Power and Light District, and I think it was for the Big 12 basketball tournament.
Sure.
And it was, at the time I hadn't spent a lot of time in downtown Kansas City. I'd spent time in Westport, at some, restaurants or nightclubs, because we as a radio station would have concerts at the Beaumont Club, but never really spent time in downtown Kansas City until the Power and Light District had been erected. And at that point, we get invited in as a radio station to be on stage and do hosting events. And with the Big 12 basketball tournament, I'm seeing this basically a whole different landscape of people, and you included.
Yes.
A little different.
A little different from what I had been, around in the few years that I had lived in Kansas City up to that moment. And so this guy comes running in, and I'm literally meaning running. Like you're literally running, and you don't stop running. You just kept running in circles and
with a cape on. Because surely I would sure think people are going to see your picture and be like, oh, I've seen that guy. Yeah. Like I remember seeing you at Arrowhead for Taylor Swift. I know you would always do the Royals games and stuff like that. But in case you're just listening and going, oh, like if you just listened to the last podcast and it clicked over to this one and you're like, who are they talking about? Yeah. Like you'll know him when you see him. If you haven't clicked over to see the picture or you're not watching the video, you've seen him. Surely.
If you have lived in Kansas City for any length of time and have, unless you're a hermit and you never get out of the house, if you've ever gone to, like Jill said, a Royals game, a Chiefs game, a concert, or something going on in the Power and Light District, then you have seen KC Superman Michael Wheeler. And so what I was about to end it with was an apology, because when I saw you on stage, I said to myself, who the hell is this freak? I'm being completely really raw and honest, and I apologize for that because I had no clue what your purpose was. I just like who is an older gentleman dresses up as Superman and just runs around in front of people, and sometimes you had a flag, like you would wave a flag and stuff too, and I was just like, what a freak show. And now I feel awful for that, and so I apologize. But is it fair to say that I may not be the only one who's ever thought that before?
Because I thought the same way. Because first I just ran with a regular T-shirt, and I prayed about it, and I was hearing time for Kate. I said, they're going to think I'm super nuts. and when my first day out, running down Main, a police pulled in the parking lot.
The police did? Okay.
I said, come here. I said, oh, man. Officer, was I speeding? Don't give me a ticket. No, man.
Speeding, running?
We want to get a picture with you.
Oh. And you had a cape.
And the media started pulling me over, wanted to interview me, and it kept growing. And I kind of ran into my vision, my outreach.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing Airhead for years, where Superman was new. It's been like 12 years doing Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the cape.
Yeah.
So you've kind of become a character, and everybody knows.
Right.
But if somebody hasn't stopped to talk to you, they might not know why you're doing it.
Right. I'll be running down the street, like, what's wrong with that man? Is he on crack? He's on drugs?
No drugs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Just high on Jesus.
Yeah, high on Jesus.
Let's back up then to where are you from? Well, and how old are you? You're like how old are you?
I was 72 in June.
Okay.
We moved here when I was 4 years old from Oklahoma.
Okay.
So I've been here 68 years.
Wow.
Kansas City's been home for 68 years. All right. And so tell us about your family growing up.
Yeah, I just grew up here in Kansas City and went to school at grade school, last group, grade school, Central Junior, Central High, and then got transferred to Westport. And
Westport. Okay.
Came out 1970, Westport.
And did you run track in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ran track.
Okay.
And my goal was to make it to the Olympics.
Oh.
And I went.
So you were really passionate.
Yes. I went to the Olympic trials, the preliminary trials in 83 in LA. It takes the top three, and they had over 1,000 top runners from America.
Wow.
I came in like 93. I didn't make it, but I had fun trying. You know, we finished at the Coliseum. After 26 miles, you go in and that was like a dream come true, you know.
To do the Olympic trials? And you had to be top three, and you came in what?
I came in 93 out over 1,000 runners.
93 out of 1,000.
All over America.
Wow.
I mean, it's highly competitive. Yeah.
Did you just try once for the Olympics?
Yes, that's it. And then I was about in my early 30s then.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember what your time was?
Well, you had to be under 250 to qualify. I had like a 248.
Wow.
That qualified for Boston. But now they running the marathons in like 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Wow.
I think the Kenyans
do. And then there's everybody else that are behind them.
That was funny. Kenyans, I met a guy from Kenya. I said, man, y'all good runners.
Yeah, no kidding.
Give me a tip. He said, well, we fast 3 days before the race. I said, thank you.
Oh.
So my second marathon was Washington, D.C., Marine Corps. So I went and fasted 3 days for the race. I got in that race and I was running. I was thinking about eating. I finished. Looked like I haven't eaten. Looked like I had lost so much weight. And my friend said, brother, that you getting more information. 3 days after they fast, then they load up. I said, I didn't know this. I ran 26 miles on empty.
So he didn't tell you they fast and then carb load.
You're right.
You forgot the loading part.
Right.
Oh,
wow, I never heard that. So I ran cross country in college. Actually, I had a college scholarship.
Okay.
Now, it was only at the JUCO level. So, but there were some highly talented runners at that level because they either came from another country.
Yeah.
Like Kenya, or they didn't qualify academically, to run at the Division I level. So just because you ran at the JUCO level doesn't mean you were a subpar athlete to a Division I athlete, because I learned real quickly that there is Kenyans and then there's just everybody else when it comes to long distance running. They have another engine, or I don't know what it is, another speed.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable when you watch a race at that level, how Kenyans will be significantly by themselves, grouped up together, and a half a mile in front of everybody else.
Huh. So did you ever go do it again and do it the right way where you fasted and then loaded up?
Yeah.
And did that help?
It did help.
Yeah.
I was more lighter.
Yeah.
It was like you got more engine, you glide.
Huh.
More. It's like you just really kind of like running on air.
Wow.
That's crazy.
What is when you did the Olympic trials, you said you ran a 2:48. And so did you ever beat that time, or was that a personal best?
That was my personal best. And I ran it. I qualified for the Boston. I kept on getting like 2:48, 2:50. Then I ran Chicago Marathon. It was like they had 40,000 runners.
Oh, wow.
And I had just turned 50. Then I came in like 2,000 something. I was telling my friend, I was kind of disappointed. He said, man, you're 50 years old. You beat most of the people. I said,
Yeah, I think that's all right.
We definitely want to get into, your mission, and I'm going to hold off on getting into that right away. But I want to get to know you a little bit more personally. Have you ever been married? Do you have any kids?
Yes, I was married, but yeah, we one of them things. But kids, love my kids. Got 9 grandkids. And
oh,
how many kids?
How many kids?
But 4 and got 9 grandkids.
4 kids, 9 grandkids.
Okay.
And you said you were drafted in the Army.
Yeah, back in 1971, right out of high school, on my grandmother's birthday. I never forget. April the 8th.
Wow.
Drafted.
Okay.
Kind of seemed a lot, kind of like Forrest Gump.
I'm sorry, what year was that?
1971.
71. Okay, so
like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
I just heard you say that.
Was that? I mean, obviously there was still a draft in.
Yeah,
so was that during the Vietnam conflict?
It was, but toward the tail end of it.
Yeah,
right.
And
I lived on Forest Avenue too when I got drafted.
you did on Forest Avenue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So were you sent somewhere right away, or what?
Yeah, Fort Hood, Texas. I was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. And I met President Bush, like the movie, Herbert Walker Bush.
Okay.
Back in the 80s, the crack houses, the drug houses. So I did a campaign around a drug house, and a guy drug dealer came and beat me down with a board.
Oh.
What?
It made local news. Someone sent the White House a clipping. So President Herbert Walker Bush heard about it. He came, I think it was 1989, through Pastor Hartfield and Alvin Brooks. And I was out there with the mayor, I think the mayor of Berkeley at that time. And
in Kansas City?
National News. And I think Cleaver, I think he was a councilman then.
Okay.
All of me was there, and the security was so tight. I had my banner, and I checked my banner out for security. I unrolled it. It says, "Ask Jesus to save you now." It's red, white, and blue. Said, oh, yeah, we no problem with that banner. So when President Bush came, he saw me in the banner. He said, I like the man with that banner there. I'm going to stand by him.
Oh.
And the camera started rolling, and I shook his hand. I said, Mr. President, it's going to take Jesus to shut these drug houses down. And he said, I know that's right.
Oh.
Wow.
Yep. And you got a picture of it at the house.
Oh, my gosh. That is so cool. Yeah. That is so cool.
I've got a lot of history in Kansas.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. So all of that came because you got injured because somebody did, like they hit you with something?
Right. And see, back then it's a big news. Back then, like, just say no.
Just say no.
Yeah.
And we would go and just
to the
campaign around drug houses. So when Alvin Brooks heard about it, he said, man, we going to march with you. So they had a group called Black Men Against Crime. So they had about 50 of them. They marched with me. The knee was there. We did 7 laps around I was kind of
like
leading
Jericho.
the way. Leading the way.
Wow.
And then they shut it down and they shut the drug house now.
Really?
I was part of that history back
then.
Wow.
But the person who hit you, they hit you with a board? Is that what you said? They were somebody who was involved in the
owners of the drug house.
The drug house.
So what happened? It was on Flag Day, June 14th, Flag Day.
Flag Day.
So my dad lived on the corner house there in 33rd and Benton. I'll be hearing this traffic all through the night. I said, Lord, I'm tired of all these drugs and to up on my heart. Do a Jericho walk. I said, I'll be with you. He said, he let me know.
What?
You will be afflicted, but I will deliver you. And I was like, oh, Lord, I can get somebody else. So when I started walking, he looked at and said, man, you better get away from my turf. I said, this is the Lord's turf. I said, we're going to walk with you. So I didn't have no idea. So he went, crack outside my head.
Oh.
And then I was dazed. I fell in the street, and my banner fell on top of me, kind of like almost like
Like
a
it was
cover.
covering. Uh-huh.
So cars would drive around me, like you drive around a dead dog, because nobody wanted to get involved. Because people so scared of
Right,
drug
because
dealers.
they knew what was right there.
So here come the ambulance, came, put the brace on me, drove me to the VA hospital. I'm a veteran. And so they examined me. I just had a big knot. So Evan Brooks came to see me and talk to me.
Yeah.
So when they released me, I ran back. It's about 5 miles. I ran back to the drug house. I said, I still got that victory. They looked at me like, oh, where's this man from?
Did you see him? The same guy?
Yeah. And he said, this. Yeah, I looked at him. I said, I got the victory. And look, so the news station 459, they contacted me. And then they had that Christian station, Channel 50 back then. They interviewed me in the radio stations. So I started getting known by then, but people just knew me as a runner.
Yeah.
I'm not a Superman back then.
Yeah.
So they kind of tied together. Like a lot of people today, they see, but they don't really know my background as a street evangelist.
Okay. So you said with the drug house, you said a Jericho run. So was that your idea?
Well, through the Bible, like Jericho and Joshua.
Yes.
It's just kind of like a little nod to the story.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
I just mean, did you think, oh, I could do that? I could run around 7 times, and then the Lord told you yes, or did the Lord tell you do a Jericho run?
He confirmed it in my spirit.
Yeah.
Walk 7 times. And now, since that happened, I took it to all 50 states, 7 laps around every Capitol building. Started in 98 and finished in Hawaii 1 year in October. Then I did it again in 2011. I went back again.
Wait, you did all that in 1 year's time?
1 year. It took me 1 year. I took
All 50 states?
train, the bus, and I took 2 airplane flights, one to Alaska and one to Hawaii. Because it's,
why didn't you run there?
Yeah, no trains to Hawaii.
I called the bus station. I said, how much would it cost to go to Hawaii? He said, sir, we ain't going across the water. I said, okay.
No Greyhound to Hawaii.
How do you afford to do all this? I mean, because here's the thing: like, if you have a full-time job, then you've got to have time to go do all this stuff. So, how were you able to have a full-time job and do this?
Well, I was retired from the Army. They retired.
You did retire. How many years did you spend in there?
Just 2 years. They retired me because I went through some trials and really hard times. So, I used that little income. Plus, I found out I had this like a bus pass I would get, and you can ride, for like a certain amount of time. I use it, and different people will see what I'm doing and bless me and love offering.
So people give you love offering and donation, yeah.
It's like a faith journey, and I'm on a faith journey. But now I just set up a foundation, because when I'm gone, I want my legacy to come in to bless the children. Yeah, that's really going through it. That's what's my goal.
So do you have somebody to like? Just a thought. You said you have a son, right? Do any of your kids run? No, like, are any of them going to take over?
When he was kids, they'll go run, but I guess my oldest is 52.
Okay,
and none of them running that.
No,
I think they go to the gym, but they.
You mentioned some of the trials and tribulations that you went through in the Army. I don't know that I know exactly what that was.
Well, what it was, when I was in the Army, Fort Hood, Texas, when I got accused for beating up 3 guys and robbing them, I didn't do it. I told my captain, I'm an innocent man. So I had to go to a lineup, and they pulled me out of the lineup and said I beat them up. Now I'm this side. I beat up 3 guys and robbed them. So here I was facing 10, 20 years, and I'm an innocent man. But after 18 days, they found I was innocent, So it's another book I can write. So anyway, I tried, it's hard to sue the government.
Yeah.
So they put me in the hospital. Shot me up with Thorazine on walking zombie. I was all messed up.
Oh, no.
Depressed and suicidal. So finally releasing. Then I went to a process of deep, like you told me, deep depression. And this is why I think about the movie. And I really didn't want to live, I went through divorce and even tried to kill myself. So I was sitting around depressed, and I was pressing, I'm tired like this, living like this. He spoke to me, what you like to do? I said, run. He said, go running. like the movie. And way before the movie, I put on my shoes and just started running.
Just like Forrest.
Just like Forrest. And then that movie came out. This happened. This like in the 70s.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would have been 20 years or more before Forrest Gump.
Right. And so my son said, "Dad, I think they've been watching you now." And they have. I think they have too. I'm going to tell Tom Hanks you owe me some.
Yeah,
right. Right. Also, you don't look like me.
Yeah, you play the beard. When I got the arm, I started doing my beard. And I'm running, and the kids, when the movie came out, run for us. You know, people be teasing.
Yes, run for us.
Another thing's kind of funny. I'm out to the raw. I run around the raw, so I use humor a lot. So lady want to take a picture with me. I said, my name is Forrest Gump. Your name is Jenny. She started laughing. Her name was Jenny for real.
Oh.
I said, no, I'm saying, she showed me her life. Her name was Jenny for real.
Jenny. Oh
Wow.
I'd be having funny experiences.
That is a funny experience.
That's
All right, so
great.
going back to you being accused of beating up those 3 guys, how does that happen? How were you accused of something that you weren't even around or being up? Did you see it happen or
No.
how were you associated to that crime?
Okay, back in then, and I have to tell you, there wasn't that too many black men in it.
Okay.
The person says it's a black guy, so I was a black guy. And,
Okay.
I got.
So it was racially motivated, you think?
I think so, but
Okay.
anyway, I went through that process. I had to forgive because, like, I see it like on other podcasts. I could be bitter, but I chose to be better.
Right.
Okay, I love that.
And I shared that on that morning. Better Kansas City. The name of it was Better Kansas City. And I shared that little test. I said, well, that fit in with Better Kansas City. I can be bitter or I can be better.
Or gonna be better.
Right.
I like that.
That's what I do, like in the inner city. I'm running, I'm praying for kids, like doing the Black Lives Matter thing. I run through there and I share with the young people. I say, you say this about the police, F this, F. So you need to stop doing it. You're going to burn down your bridge,
Yeah.
And I know the hurt. And I try to teach them, it's a process. You got people in every walk that's not right. So I'm trying to teach them out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when you got, how did you then get, I sorry if I missed it. You were kind of talking fast. So I wasn't know if I was following very quickly, or very well, but how did you get exonerated from that crime?
Yeah, right. They released me.
So did they do an investigation and they realized that you didn't do it? Or
I guess so. So they just found out. And then later on, after spending time in the hospital, they released me a medical discharge.
Okay, gotcha.
And then they boarded me like how I already do with like funds for getting out the service, but never sued them or nothing. But it's all good.
You got to move on, right?
So that was a very tough time, right? Because your
right.
character's being questioned. And you mentioned the divorce.
Yeah, when I came.
Was that happening right around the same time?
Same time, like back then, if you was married with a child, you wouldn't get drafted.
Oh,
but Nixon changed it, so you can be married with a child. So that's how I got drafted. My son was 4 months old.
Oh.
And then, let me back up. My grandfather had passed away, and they gave you 3 days.
Yeah.
Took a bus one day to get there with my grandfather. When I went back, that's when I got pulled out of line. That's what I was still. And then while I was.
So you were grieving your grandfather's death, and all that was happening. It was just stuff was piling on top of each other.
I was grieving.
Yeah.
And my wife had went off with some other man. On top of that.
Right.
And then this year. And I was only 19 pounds up on pound, and I think all these parts of my life helped me to be what I am today. It was some pain and stuff. I think you sharing some of this, but I went through some depression. But my gift, like therapy to me, like when I run, I feel the Spirit of the Lord. I feel the angels running with me.
I like that.
Wow. How long? So you were 2 years in the military, and did you get the divorce when you got back and out of the military, since you were only in for a short period of time?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. What's your relationship with her now?
Yes, It's good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's good.
Good. So you never got reunited with another woman or got remarried?
Well, everybody gonna know. I struck out. I got married again. I tried 3 times total, but life goes on. Life goes on. I could tell anybody. See, by the experience, it helped me to be a more sensitive minister. Sometimes you can condemn a person to divorce, put them in the hell but no, see, God will draw it together.
Yeah.
So it's been a process, and I'm a stronger man and more seasoned by going through the pain myself. Because he said, "Oh, you get over, young man. Just suck it up." But you just, it's a process of maturity in the Lord.
Yeah.
So what did you do when you leave the Army? You're out of the hospital. What do you do what was your living then? What did you do for work then?
I just I lived on my little pension.
Okay.
And then I just full-time ministry, stunking invitation to come and preach. I was like a hands-on evangelist. And I would go to different cities and they would interview me. Like when I went to all 50 states, I got to Austin, Texas, and the news media was there ready to interview me. I'm going around the nation just praying for the nation. That was a vision that I had, And all these years of running, I guess prepared me, even the hard times, going to jail. You got been spit on, stabbed, hit with pipes and boards.
Oh my gosh. So you served your time in the Army, and other than that, this is what you've done.
Yes.
No other job.
Full-time evangelist.
Right. Well, I worked for, let me back up. I worked for the phone when I came out. Okay, I went back. I worked at the Capitol Grill for about 4 years on Plaza.
Yeah.
I was a ballet guy. I forgot that ballet guy.
Okay,
Parking cars. You probably open doors.
Yeah.
It opened up in 2000. I think I started that first week they opened up.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So you did some jobs in between to make some money and that kind of thing. Okay.
And
so the running in all 50 states, you said was a vision.
Yes.
So is that like you had a dream while you were sleeping, or you have just a vision
it was like
in the day?
It was like a dream. I would see myself in different cities running. And then when I would travel to go run these marathons, I would look at the Capitol buildings and I was just drawn to Capitol buildings. I said, why don't this before I surrendered my calling to preach.
Right.
And then now I'm going back to the same cities. I was just in Nashville, but I didn't go to Capitol this time. I just went there and ministered on the streets there.
That's so cool.
All right, so this is what I'd like to do. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then I want to come back. I want to touch on a few things. Obviously, I want to find out how you became saved and how you...
I'm taking glasses off.
You're taking glasses off. There you go.
Get comfortable.
I also want to find out more about, you talked about going to jail and, and getting beaten with pipes and stuff like that. So we're going to talk all about that. It's coming up a little bit here in episode 32 of the Papa Ron Podcast.
You're listening to the Papa Ron Podcast. To contact us with questions, comments, or interest in sponsoring the show, find us online at paparonradio.com.
Downloading.
Now back to the show. Here again are your hosts, Ronnie Phillips and Jillian Gregg.
Jill, have you noticed this new hoodie that I have on?
Yeah, well, I don't know what it means.
Have you seen me talked about that?
No.
I'm going to tell you what it means. My buddy Matt just started, a new business, and I love the mission behind it. If you get a chance, follow One Day Co. for like One Day Company on Instagram or Facebook. They started this clothing to celebrate the one day that we ever thought, like one day we're going to do this, or this one day I'm going to start a business. One day I'm going to take the leap. One day I'm going to
run around to all the Capitol buildings in all 50 states.
Yes. One day I'm going to dress up as Superman and profess my love to Jesus. So this business, this mission, this clothing company is to celebrate that one day. And it's intended to be inspirational and motivational and maybe encouraging to those who might have a dream to do something.
Okay.
And they keep talking about the one day, but maybe maybe today is the one day that they'll get started. So if you get a chance, check out my buddy Matt's new business along with his wife Tara.
I know Matt and Terry.
Yeah, from Whiskey Tango back in the day. They are great people. I love them. And it's this thing that he's got going on has given us the ability to reconnect. And so he dropped this off, my own very own one-day hoodie last night. And so I'm very excited for them to get this thing started. So go check that out. This is a friendly little plug. They're not a sponsor of the show, but I wanted
That's so great. Well, it's a perfect fit for today's guest, too.
It is. Michael Wheeler, known as Casey Superman. I wanted to ask about, and we're going to get into, obviously you do all this for the love and to glorify Jesus Christ. And I want to get into where you and how you became, how you had a relationship with him and started this process. But I am very intrigued into hearing, because Jill has also told me in the variety of different conversations that you've had coming up to this point that you've had a trial date, you've gone to court, and you've been attacked. And so what you talked about going to jail. What put you in jail?
Well, I'm up to 77 arrests.
77 arrests?
Only in America. My last one.
Only in America, it says.
Okay, we coming up on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 2020, right during the height of the pandemic.
Yes.
So I want to encourage the people. So I go in the store, purchase a few things, and I got a little banner, not like the one I had when I got jumped, but it just says Salvation Now. So I'm outside, and it's holding the banner, and people going in, and I say, it's going to be all right, y'all. You know, we got the mask, got to get in this line going. And so I guess the mention, hey, you can't be out here. So listen, I said, I'm not soliciting. I'm out here just encouraging the people. So anyway, they said, man, you might have to leave. I said, you know what? You got Girl Scouts, you got boys out here.
So you were at a grocery store?
Yeah.
Inside or outside?
Outside.
Outside the grocery store. And you just had a sign that said Salvation Now, and you're just telling people everything's going to be all right. Because that was a scary, a scary time. St. Patrick's Day 2020.
Right.
Like, that was right after everything shut down.
Sure.
Yeah. So people were freaking out.
Right. So I'm scared. So I guess he couldn't give me the lease. I said, no. So I got a right to be here. So I'm a purchasing. I said, I'm a citizen.
Yeah, you shopped.
So anyway, I heard some sirens. I said, oh, something going on. Something going on in the wall. No, so it came from me. It came from me. Yeah, sorry. So, well, you asked me, I said, yes. But you know what? If I'm guilty, I said, arrest me now. You know. So you're going to be the hard way. So he handcuffed me, you know, searching there. And there people walking around, hey, that's Casey. Man, what's the matter with y'all? That's Casey Superman. So anyway, he put me in a wagon, drove me downtown. I guess fingerprint, all that stuff you go through.
Oh my goodness.
So like I'm real criminal. So after 2 hours, they released me. When I came out, the sergeant said, Superman, what knucklehead arrested you? I said, one of your officers, you know. That's what he said. Another guy came out. Oh, that's Casey Superman. He be in Westport. He came out and shook my hand and said, man, we love what you do. So anyway, I thought it was all over. I never had a ticket, never had a court date. So I went on, but I just dropped it. Fast forward, May last year, Memorial Day weekend. Okay, I carry a cross sometimes, so
yeah,
I'm walking through Westport with my cross, and it lights up. It was nighttime.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through there, and I met people because you know I had broken my ankle, and I still in the knee boot, so people was happy to see me taking pictures. So I got a storage, my cross. I'm walking to Westport storage. This guy, Kelly's sitting there. Kelly, take that blinking cross to church. I want acres. I want to see that blink. So I tried to ignore. I kept on walking, and he got louder and louder. And that's when I started rebuking. I said, you know, you need to repent tonight. You come against a man of God. And here come Westport security.
Oh, boy.
Hey, you can't be out here bothering people. You got to leave. I said, I got to leave. I said,
you can't be bothering people when he starts.
Yeah, did you hear that man curse me? He said, no, we didn't hear that. I said, you know what? I've been coming here for 38 years. I said, if I'm doing some crime, I said, go get the police. Okay, we will. He ran, came back.
The Westport security is going to get the police? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they went and got the police. And they came back, and police said, were you asked to leave? I said, yes, I was asked to leave. He said, well, how come you leave? I said, because I don't have to. I said, if I'm guilty, I said, arrest me. They put the cuffs on me, and They marched me down by my mural, Pennsylvania.
Wait. So we Michael and I talked about this before we started recording. So there's a mural of you, a painting on the side of one of the buildings in Westport. At 41st?
Yeah, in Pennsylvania.
Okay, in Westport.
So they marched me down there.
I think I know where you're talking about.
Yeah, they called for a wagon. The wagon never showed up, so they released me. So I thought it was all over. I thought I wasn't giving no chicken and nothing, you know. So anyway, the next week I go back my cross again.
Mm-hmm.
They saw me. This is the Westport. Put the cross on me, and that was on video. A lot of people shared that video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had the Israelites out there all out, but here I am. They handcuffed me and marched me down by Throwback. You know, a Throwback down there.
Yeah, Throwback. Yeah.
So I'm there waiting for the wagon. Never showed up. So
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, right. So
yeah, okay.
Anyway, finally, they dropped me to court. Okay. Anyway, they gave me summoned me to court, and for the so they put the walk. They added it up together, but it had 2 different court days. So on November, the 1st of November, 18th, it was for Westport. They found me guilty for trespassing. And then Walmart.
Trespassing what?
Yeah. They found me guilty, put me on probation.
Guilty of what?
So-called trespassing.
At a Walmart and in Westport.
Yeah.
What? How do you trespass in Westport?
I don't know. That's what
if you're walking down the street or down the sidewalk.
And then
did you have legal representation, or did you represent yourself?
I did myself. I tried to get it, but it didn't come through. People couldn't contact me.
Yeah.
Represent myself. But long story short, when the court was over, they gave me the court cost. I'm not gonna pay it. I told Judge Michael, I said, I'd rather go to jail. My friend said, no, come on, man, we'll pay. They paid it for me. I walked up to his desk. I said, you know what? Do you know we're in the last days? I said, God ain't pleased with this. Back in the 80s, I went through there back in 86, got arrested in the same spot. Back in 1986, right in front of Kelly's.
Okay.
You know, and that judge, I wound up, it's a long story. I got contempt of court. I told the judge, he's going to stand before the judge. And, you know,
you told the judge he's going to stand before the ultimate judge?
Yes, right.
And you got contempt of court.
Contempt of court. And I said, praise God, it's another year. So me and my friend, we spent 2 weeks. You should be called Leeds out there by Arrowhead.
Yeah, Leeds, yeah. Uh-huh.
And we got to preach, guys getting saved. And Thurman Mitchell was a newsman back then, Channel 5.
Thurman Mitchell,
said, man, we like this because we Christians. And that's kind of how my initiation kind of started.
Huh.
But I have never sued for being violated my rights. But I feel like I get a hold of it. It's not too late, you know, because it ain't right.
Wow.
The first thing that comes to my mind was how often Jesus was persecuted.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, he said, you're going to hate him, he's going to hate us also for his name. Yep.
You know, I have so many different emotions going through me right now. Part of me, if I'm being honest, is like, you crazy fool. Why do you keep going back and putting yourself through that? And then the other part of me is like, just feeling so proud of you because you're so convicted in your faith that you know that you're doing it for something bigger than you.
Right.
You know, so tell me, do you ever get to the point, like, is it worth it? Or have you ever? I mean, I'm sure you've experienced so much in this time that you probably got to the point where you know at 72 years of age you're doing it. But have you ever got to the point where you know that you're doing all this for the glory of God and you've gone through getting hit over the head with a pipe or a piece of wood or whatever, and you sit there and you think and you're praying about it and you're like, why do I keep doing this to myself?
Right. I was going through there. I was like, all these years and I'm not really seeing too much fruit. So anyway, when this video went out.
Which video are we talking about? The Westport one?
Okay.
They saw me. Yeah.
So a friend of mine, him and his wife I met a couple of years back, and he said, Superman, you're going to come out with you like what you're doing. So that weekend was a shooting in Westport. So I didn't, they probably said, that's too dangerous.
Yeah.
So, but when they saw this video, I said, brother, be convicted. So they've been coming. I kind of like pass it over to them. They doing a good job. And then I went with them out on the south side, and they were by the gas station. And this guy, he's a Muslim guy. He let us plug into his power. He let us sing and worship and share the gospel in front of his gas station. A Muslim guy.
Like over by the stadiums?
And this is like 88th and Woodland.
Okay.
Right off for sale there. The gas station. And they carrying on and doing good. Then they got another sister, her she been going out doing street ministry. And here another group coming from Kansas. They been coming to Westport. So after all this had happened to me, so you kind of pass the Westport torch to them, and you don't go to Westport anymore, or because before the trial and all that, I was already passing over, so they put me on probation for a year. I already made my mind to still
so you can't go to Westport right now.
I can, but
you're not supposed to.
Not supposed to. But I went back a couple of times. They saw me. They didn't arrest me. They saw this man. They had my cross back in the same spot. Because really, they want to keep it down because they know it's wrong.
Right.
It's wrong.
Right. It is wrong.
And they have no grounds really other than.
So will you be running in the St. Patrick's Day Parade?
I don't know. I may. You probably see me come.
Do you have green? You've got green, right? I think I've seen you in there.
I've seen your beard green.
Yep.
You dye your hair.
Yeah. I did it blue for the Royal. But the first parade, I ran it 47 years ago.
The first Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade?
They had a 5K raid. We kick it off before the. I remember we ran that one-yard road, that hill.
Yeah.
And that was like 45 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
I've never been invited. But I just ran. It's like on part of St. Patrick's Day. I just ran through there. And like with the Chiefs, I never been invited. Well, they did a couple of Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So, a couple thought about it. I was going on home, so I'm going to call it a day. I kept on hearing, you got the right to party,
Oh, wait. So we're talking about this most recent Chiefs Super Bowl parade, that day, the parade day?
Right.
Okay.
And that morning, I walked the prayer route. Like I did the other year, I walked in and prayed over it all night, about 3 or 4 hours. That car got on the parade route.
Yeah.
And the police chief over here, he said, "Watch out, Superman! There's a car on the route." I got out the way. He went right by me. I almost ran over.
I remember that.
But that night, I just walked the whole, just praying back and forth. But this one.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
You walked the parade route the night before, praying to basically protect the people who would be coming the next day.
Right. And that's what I said. Pray for safety. And I said, okay.
Wow.
And I said, oh, okay. Wow. And this one here.
So this most recent one, you didn't do that, or you did? You walked and prayed? No.
I went to.
Some of those prayers from the first one may have carried over into the second one. It sounds like you prayed a lot.
I walked this parade route to check it out. And I was getting kind of chilly, so a rally house was open. I was so glad I got me another layer. And while I was in there getting my layer on, people was taking pictures.
Yeah.
I seen the new police chief came in, little officer, and she gave me a big old hug. She gave me a big old hug. I said, "Thank you." I said, "You think I can run in the parade?" He said, "I don't see no reason why you cannot.
Right.
Cannot run it." So anyway, I thought about that. Almost like I got permission. That's when I jumped in the parade.
That's almost like permission.
Yeah. And I climbed the rail, and I'm running down there. People was cheering like crazy. Like, man, and I was waving, and I got to the end of the parade route, and I guess the head guy came over and said, "Sir, do you have credentials?" I said, "Yes, my credentials is 28 straight Super Bowl." So he called for the security. So I took off running.
Oh shoot!
And they grabbed my cape. My cape came off.
Oh no!
The other police come running. "Hey, leave Superman alone. Superman's okay." So the other police came to my rescue.
Aww.
So I was up there with the VIP taking pictures.
I love it.
And,
you got your cape back, right?
Got my cape back.
Okay.
I put it back on.
So I was asking him a little bit about that before we started recording because I saw a video not too long ago of him in the parade running, and it looked like you were supposed to be there because you know how parade, like in the beginning of the parade, everything's staggered like it's supposed to be, right? But then as the parade goes on, you may end up with a big gap.
Right. It was a big gap.
So it was a huge gap, and he's just running and waving, and the cape's flowing, and it just looked like, well, this is what's supposed to be happening.
And it was cheering. And one of my friends said, he was watching on TV, and announcer said, now, what's going on right here? I don't quite understand, but this family, but I don't quite understand this. Jimmy laughed.
So funny. I love that.
You mentioned you going into Rally House because it was a little bit cold. You went and got and it's funny you mentioned that because a fan of the show, and actually she was a fan of ours for our years at Q104, Rhonda Marble Osman.
Oh yeah.
She commented. I put a picture of you on Facebook to promote that we were going to have you on the show. And she commented and says, Mr. Wheeler, saw him and chatted at Rally House before the Chiefs parade.
Okay.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So when you mentioned that, I had to go looking for my phone because I thought, wait a minute, it sounds like he got to chat.
I was the one to help because I didn't have quite enough finance for my jersey. I said, can I come pay you later, And then they say, hey, she can pay the rest of the money.
Oh, that's so nice.
Rhonda did? Or somebody else?
Somebody
did.
maybe it was her.
I don't know who. Yeah.
Maybe it was her.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been some experience.
I know there's so many things to ask.
I
right?
know. And
there's
I'm
so
trying to
many
keep
things
it in chronological order. And now I just feel like I'm kind of all over the place. And I want to kind of tease because I really want to get to the foundation of how your relationship with Jesus was built. But I know that that's going to be a good story. So I want to push that off for a little bit. What's the relationship been with the organizations? I mean, obviously you're a huge sports fan. You use the organizations in the crowds that they draw as an opportunity for you to witness and minister. So have you been able to establish a relationship with the Clarks or the new ownership of the Royals or past ownership with the Glasses?
Well, not yet. But I know they observe me and they see me.
Yeah.
Dayton Moore, he honored me when I retired. He honored me. The secretary called me, want to know my address and my shirt size. Well, this one, this shirt right here they sent me.
Dayton Moore sent you that shirt.
Yep. This
Wow.
shirt.
So can I stop you for 1 second? Because this is a good story. He told me this earlier.
Okay.
You said when you retired. So you retired from being KC Superman.
Right.
At one point, but then you came out of retirement.
Right.
Okay,
Why did you?
Do you want to come back to that, or do you want to answer that now? Why you retired?
I can answer now.
Yeah, go ahead. Why did I didn't know that you had done that. Why did you retire?
Until
I
today.
retired because I said, well, I'm done all these years. It's time. I was kind of feeling a little bit discouraged, like it's time for me to come getting old, So anyway, I retired. Then after I retired, I started walking around.
You got bored, didn't you?
And feeling old man pains and carrying on. I said, wait a minute. And then people come up. My little girl cried because she retired. My little boy cried. I said, I want to see Superman. So I said, I got to come back out of retirement.
Oh.
And everybody said, we need you for the Chiefs. Brother.
Yeah.
He said, would you come out for the Chiefs? I said, yeah. And one newspaper said, if you go to playoff, would you come? I said, yes. So I came out of retirement.
So when was that you came out of retirement?
That was about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you came out of retirement. So then, so let's go back to the story you started, and I kind of interrupted that about Dayton Moore. So when you retired, Dayton Moore wanted to honor you and send you something. So their secretary called to get your address and found out your shirt size and all that. So what did he send you?
It's a big box, boys' jerseys, couple running shoes and hats and real nice jersey. Big old box. Had a nice note. So we appreciate all the years that you ran around the Royal Stadium.
Oh.
And I met Clark Hunt and his wife at the Arrowhead. She came up, took a picture. She said, "Oh, we appreciate you running around. Clark, come take a picture."
Oh.
And then say, "Come here, Clark, take another picture." Picture with him. And then I went to Vegas. It was my first road trip. After the Monday night.
Okay.
When that happened, young player got hurt.
Yes.
So I was at Friday night. I went there to watch it, and I usually wear my Chiefs gear, blow up on my heart. Wear the scripted T-shirt. It says urgent emergency prayers, and it has scriptures all down. And I was sitting at the table. I was prayerful. And I was watching the game, And when that happened, I said, oh, I understand. What's coming up? Thank you for being here, Superman. I'm going to be praying for him. You know, it was all about, it wasn't nothing about sports no more. I was there.
Right. That was scary to watch.
Right. I didn't have no Chiefs gear on. All I had scriptures about the Lord.
So, but you don't know why you didn't wear Chiefs. You just decided to wear that shirt, but you didn't know why.
Right. I was led to not just wear my ministry stuff. The Lord knows everything. So when that happened, I said, okay, now, Lord, now I see.
Oh, my God.
I said, well, I'm going to the house. You know, time my ministry, I always have them, but this time I just put on
emergency prayers.
Mm-hmm. Did all scriptures on it. And people looking at my T-shirt like,
huh. Mm-hmm. No coincidences, right?
No coincidence.
No coincidences.
On my birthday last year, you know, I was going to get out of town, catch a train, you know, go somewhere else. Went to the train station down there, Union Station. I said, checked on the schedules, and I was like, heard like, don't go. This ain't the right time to go.
Oh.
So I'm out. Later on, watching the news. Train derailment. That was my birthday, June 27th. That train when 7 people died. That's where I was headed. That's where I was directed.
Wow.
And then the Boston Marathon, I hadn't been in a while. I said, well, I'm gonna go. I didn't qualify. I'm gonna go wear my Superman, hang out at the finish line. So I was thinking about that. Then I heard, look for another race. So I went to the Barnes and Nobles on the plaza.
Okay.
I got to run that book. I'm thumbing through. I seen the Superheroes Marathon in Los Angeles. I said, wow, Superman my alley, because I'm doing Superman anyway. So I went through and stayed. So our marathon was a week before the Boston.
Okay.
The Boston Marathon came around. My phone rang. Michael, are you okay? You're not in Boston? I said, no, I'm in Hollywood. They put the bomb where I was going to hang out.
Oh, man.
That's why I was going to hang out right at the finish. And I tell people, gotta protect you. So all these years I've been running, I think, wow, I've been on a lot of trains and I've been on plane and buses and running, and to not to be involved in accident, divine protection.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Wow. So do you have anybody that travels with you regularly, or do you go to all these things by yourself?
I go and people, I meet up with people.
No, I know you meet up with people and people know you, but I mean, do you have anybody that goes? No?
I vision to have a team one day, you know.
Yeah.
You know, this time, I'm on a train headed to Kentucky, and I'm sitting there, and my phone's getting a little low, and God sitting behind me. You know how they be eating all noise, rapping, you know.
Yes.
I said, this is a noise. It was noise. So he gets something with the rap, and he looks up, Pastor Wheeler. Minister Free and I know.
Yes.
And they came up, put some money in my hand, and we fellowship. We did a Facebook Live thing, like Small World, you know.
Yes, on a bus to Kentucky. So do you have a regular home church in Kansas City?
Well, I do my ministry called Salvation Now House of Prayer.
It's what now?
Salvation Now House of Prayer.
Okay.
And it's like my own little house church.
Okay.
And then I visit different churches, and I've got a pastor friend across the street. Right now, I'm on evangelist mode. Mm-hmm. I'm just traveling, preaching. And when the door open, I go in and share my testimony.
What's the best verse in the Bible?
I like, what's really hitting me now is redeeming the time for the days of evil. And that's what I'm doing even now, because at this critical hour. And like Ecclesiastes too, the time, the 3rd chapter. That's my first message, Ecclesiastes 3rd chapter. And my message
Ecclesiastes
3rd chapter.
3rd chapter? Okay.
A time to heal, a time to give.
Yeah.
And what touched me, I was riding my bicycle. I was 8 years old. I seen this church, and it had a clock. It said, do you have any time for Jesus? So that was the title of my first message, do you have any time for Jesus?
At how old? How old were you?
I was 8 years old.
8 years old.
But when I first matches, I was 33 when I finally surrendered to preach.
Oh, so your first sermon was, I thought you said you preached at 8.
No, I just
33.
I saw that the clock that convicted me as a kid. But I remember that saying, do you have any time for Jesus? And it circled the clock, the message.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to take another quick break here, and then when we come back, I want to get into the actual testimony. I want to get to know where it was and when it was that you found Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you decided that this was going to be your calling for the rest of your life. We're going to get into that next as we get close to wrapping up episode 32 of the Papa Ron Podcast.
You're listening to the Papa Ron Podcast.
Welcome.
Keep up to date on new podcasts, discussion topics, and future guests. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Search Papa Ron Podcast and be sure to like and leave a comment. Now back to the show. Here again are your hosts, Ronnie Phillips and Jillian Gregg.
Papa Ron Podcast also brought to you by Clean AF, Clean Polish Protect, specifically formulated to protect and beautify surfaces, including plastic, vinyl, rubber, and carbon fiber. Water-resistant formulation is safe to use on gloss and matte finishes and makes the cleanup process easier by forming a durable coating that repels mud, dirt, and debris. Apply and lightly buff to a dry sheen, perfect for all power sports enthusiasts. Purchase online at cleanabsolutelyflawless.com or in store at Dell's Power Sports in Grain Valley, Missouri. All right. I also got to make an apology. I made a boneheaded move. You know, it's just been chaos this entire week here in my house, here at RP Global Headquarters. Anyway.
I think you say that every week.
I try to fit it in wherever I can. I think I've missed a couple weeks.
No, I mean, you say it's chaos.
Oh, chaos here, yes.
Yeah,
it's always chaos at RP Enterprises Global Headquarters, yes. And this week in particular was even more chaotic.
Yes.
And you guys know, you guys got here, and I wasn't ready to come in because I was dealing with kids.
Yeah.
And then I went and formatted the SD cards that are right here, but they're not. They are the cards that I pulled from the trail camera that I had on the lease pond that was scouting the geese that I was hunting, which means they're the 32 gig and the 16 gig cards and not the 128 gig cards. So we have audio version and some video version, and we're rolling video right now. So if you are wondering because you're watching, like, why is the video keep cutting out? It's because yours truly is a knucklehead and didn't put in the right SD cards. But we're fixed and we're good to move forward. Back with Michael Wheeler, KC Superman, and super honored. I know that you had to jump through some hoops to get here today to the global headquarters of RP Enterprises.
I'm so glad you did.
And I'm glad that, obviously because of who you are and the notoriety you got, you're able to get through our security very, very easily. And that was comforting to know because I didn't want him to mess with you too much, especially if you showed up dressing like Superman. They're like, what is this freak show? But no, seriously, it is an honor to have you here. And I have so much respect and admiration for how devoted and committed you are to the Lord and in your mission to spread the good word. But that you didn't just come out that way. You weren't just born and said, this is what I'm going to set my heart to do. Mm-hmm. So at what point was it something that was how do I ask this? So was it something that you grew up with was your family very stout Christians, or how did this whole thing come together?
Yeah. Like when I was born, that's all I knew is church. My dad was a pastor. My grandfather, 4 uncles, 4 of them were pastor. One of them, they wasn't a pastor. Okay, I count my dad makes 4. So anyway, church, morning, stay all day. Yep. Sunday school. Yep. Church. So I grew up in the church, and I was saying to myself, I said, "Wow, Lord, I want to do something different. I don't want to be a preacher." So I started running and then I started running physical these marathons. I said, "Well, Lord, I could just wear a T-shirt about the Lord. That's how I minister." So Lord, let me just run all over the nation, for trials. But in July '84, that's when I surrendered to preach. But let me back up. I had thought that I was a Christian because I went to church and Sunday school and all that, And I remember in the military, I cried. I said, "Lord, forgive me. I done messed around and backslid. Lord, let me know."
You messed around what?
Backslid.
Backslide, like a Christian backslide.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So he let me know that I hadn't backslid away.
Right.
I never been saved. I was just good old religious boy, But I cried out after going through what I went through, in the military, with the marriage. I remember crying. I said, "Look, touch me, Lord. Okay, right? Put the Spirit in me right in my house. Save me." And then I went to the church, got baptized in the Holy Spirit, and Lord put my heart, hit the streets. And what got me hitting the streets was We had some terrible tragedies in my life, in my family. Well, my uncle was murdered on the streets of Kansas City. That was back in the late 60s.
Okay.
My cousin, my niece got murdered, my nephew, and a cousin. So all this.
They all got murdered?
Yeah, in Kansas City. So it hit me to take it to the streets. So,
But before we go past that, if you don't mind me asking, and I know that every one of those family members who you lost, which by the way, I'm so terribly saddened to hear, they all have their own story, and telling each one of those stories could go on forever.
Right.
But was there an issue that was there a collective issue that was the reason for the deceased? When were they involved with drugs or crime or?
Because my uncle, he was leaving the bank to get some money out for his daughter to send to college. Just some guy watched him and followed and shot him. Then my cousin was driving along, that's for sale, and got shot. He died. Then my niece got into a fight with this girl, and she came out, stabbed her to death. You know, and then we had my nephew. Well, he was in New York. He was a dean at this college. But anyway, he was doing this research on, I guess, terrorism. But we didn't discover his body in the Hudson Bay River.
Oh, my.
And the people that do the
autopsy?
Yeah, and they do the thing like for 911, the special, found out he was in the DNA, that was him. So all these tragedies, and that's when I felt my true calling to the streets. That's when I started hitting the streets preaching.
So you said before that you grew up in church and you thought you were saved because you were a pastor's kid and you grew up in church and you just thought you did all the right things, but you really weren't.
Right, I was just religion.
Just religion.
And see, my heart, because there's a lot of people like me, because they do that, you know, and they really think they really saved, you know.
Yeah. So
I can really identify with them being lost like that. So that's why I take this radicalness to the streets. But say, man, this man got something I don't, you know.
Right, right.
So when you got saved, you this was after the divorce and the issues in the military, and you felt like the calling after all the family members who had passed tragically. Right. You felt the Lord talking to you that you needed to take your you needed to take it to the streets, the mission to the streets. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to have a tough time asking this question, but I felt so guilty because I thought like this was some crazy dude. And so have you ever questioned like, is this being counterproductive? I mean, I know that, and you've told some stories now that's opened my eyes to the ways of which that, you know, it's brought notoriety to you and it's brought attention to you. And then once people have actually had the opportunity to listen and find out what the purpose is behind dressing up as Superman, that it's given you the credibility. But have you ever questioned yourself, like, is this too radical? Right. Is this actually making me look like a freak show to where people aren't going to take me seriously? Are they not going to take the actual Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, seriously because I'm going to this extent to
right. See, that's how I was getting that way. I said, like, went to Tennessee. Went Tennessee. I was like, had my plain clothes on. Minister, I said, go change over. Go to a basketball game. Put the Superman outfit on. And people was drawn. You know, they're drawn. And every time I tried to, but the Lord said, this is part of you. And you teaching people to be themselves, you can be a powerful, sold-out believer and be radical. So even like what's going on with Kansas City right now, we getting notoriety. We getting people, I mean, NFL, you got the Super Bowl, women's soccer. We got all these good things coming, but it's like, I think let's gain the whole world New Jones. So, but my focus now is getting the word to the nation. Got the soccer, you know, world soccer. I said, all these are platforms, worldwide platform. Yeah. And I said, stay in your mode. I let you know you can go in and out. But you let me know, I'm going to start getting invitations to places that I never thought I'd be. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And even like in Hollywood, I went to the marathon. I was taking pictures with movie stars. They're like, come here, take pictures with this. I didn't know who they were. It getting me.
Oh, I love that.
And I said, son, you minister. Another time I was there, it had a movie out. I forgot a movie. Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman was in it. But anyway, I was preaching over across the street. And I said, folks, you want to be a free man? Let Jesus come home. But anyway, it relate with the music, with the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's coming out of the Academy Award place.
Oh, my goodness.
Then I went to Compton, California. You know, that's notorious for gangs. So I went there, and I'm running with my red and blue. And the guy saw me, said, come here, dude, where you from? OG, I said, I'm Kansas City. He said, dude, do you realize you at the headquarters of the Bloods and the Crips, and you got on red and blue? He said, ain't nobody been out here preaching before? I said, you got one now. They all hugged me. They was cheering up, and I prayed for them. I told my sister, I said, Brother Michael, you can go anywhere now. You've been initiated. You came back alive wearing red and blue.
In and out of Compton and red and blue, and you came out alive.
Yeah.
You have had some close encounters with death.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you've already talked about getting hit over the head with the board. You alluded to getting hit with a pipe. You don't go into Compton, into even parts of downtown Kansas City that are very dangerous and don't come really close to death. So maybe share some of those experiences.
I share one just fresh.
Fresh? Like how fresh?
About 8-9 days ago.
8-9 days ago. Come in a little closer to the microphone.
Turn it. Yeah.
I was in Kentucky. I like to have fun. Like when I was in California, I had my football. I threw it out by the beach, and it came back with the waves. So I'm down there in Kentucky by the Kentucky Lake. So I'm gonna try that here. So I threw it over in the lake, and it started drifting away. I said, "Football, come back!" I said, "Come to me!" and it started coming closer. Then it went on the other side. I went on the other side, and it was drifting. And then it started coming closer. Now there's a rail right here. So I climbed over the rail, and I went down, and I was by the hands reach for it.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, wow. So I reached, and I slipped into the lake, and it was kind of slippery. So I got the football, and I was trying to climb out. I slipped back in, and I tried again. I slipped back in. So I threw the ball. It hit the rail, like a field goal, and it went right back in there and drifted away.
Oh no!
So I found a branch and I climbed out. You know, it was like it was a carrying or someone trying to carry me under. I said,
you went through all of this over a football.
Yeah, football.
This is not. I was thinking the story that you were going to tell. I was thinking you were going to tell me about being at gunpoint or something, and you basically drowned to death because you were rescuing a football.
But it's active. It's like it's a miracle. It's like it got Jesus on it.
Yeah.
Got the cheese. It may be big for the next person that's thinking about somebody thinking.
So
about
it was very sentimental to you.
You know,
yeah.
And it got that for And I was praying. I said I was going to share that testimony how it came back. I was that close, so I almost didn't come back.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you survived that close encounter with death.
Yeah.
Not the story I was looking for, though. I'm talking about when you're out there ministering, though, into the city.
I was in Seattle. We was out there. We had a couple team with me. We was out there ministering and preaching. Kind of rough part of the city. And as I was going through there, somebody heard a gun fire. Yeah. And like it hit like the pole. I said, wow. So instead of getting afraid, I got bold. I ran toward. I said, where you at? I said, repent, come to Jesus, come. But I felt God's presence. I felt the angels, and it got real quiet. Like the guy was scared. They left. I don't know.
Wow.
I had a guy pull a knife on me after I got 1 week after hospital, recuperating. So I had to go back to my corner. I said, God be the glory. And this guy came by and said, man, I'm tired of y'all preachers. He pulled his pants leg, he had a holster. He said, man, I'm a stab. I said, go ahead. I showed him my wound. Go ahead. I said, make my day. I said, sudden death, sudden glory. He said, man, you crazy. And he got away from me because I was under anointing. But if I had been in my flesh, I'd be probably back to the hospital again. Yeah. And I had a lot of encounters.
Have you ever had to defend yourself? In other words, have you got into a physical altercation? Because, the Bible says, turn your cheek, do you just let them beat the hell out of you? Or do you actually fight for yourself?
I was over in Kansas, 10th and Central, and I'm doing a ministry. A friend of mine sitting there watching me. So this guy came back. Oh, gee, I don't want to hear that. Get to stepping. I said, I ain't going nowhere. He said, I said, get to stepping. He went to swing on me, and I went up in a stance like Bruce Lee. I don't know how my leg get out there. And he walked away. And my friend said, Brother Wheeler, do you know karate? I said, nope, but Jesus does. But I guess that guy, he looked at that point. He said, shoot, OG, come here, put something on me, so I better walk away while I can.
Yeah, I don't want to be embarrassed.
It was hilarious. So I just it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, that is so
well, you know
funny.
what though? I mean,
no, but Jesus does.
That is true, and that sounds like that's a joke, and that's funny. Yeah. But I mean, you can get supernatural strength.
Yeah.
You the same way, because I've heard of people I just had a lady telling me the other day, or telling a group of us the other day, about that she was in another country as a missionary, and she didn't speak their language, but she did, but she didn't know what she was saying, and it wasn't speaking in tongues; it was speaking in their native language, and she couldn't she couldn't do a back and forth conversation, but the Lord put the words in her mouth and she spoke them, and she didn't even know what she was saying.
I know.
But the people understood her because it was their language. But she didn't know what she said.
I heard testimony like that.
Yeah.
And I was skeptical until I experienced it. I got an invitation to Japan and Korea.
Japan and Korea, okay.
Paid free,
How does that happen? Before you get into that just doesn't just happen.
Through the Moonies.
The what?
The Moonies.
The Moonies.
The Mooney group.
Okay.
What's the name? I can't think of.
I'm completely ignorant to what you're talking about.
He's this leader of Unification Church. Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Unification Church?
Is it Mooney or Moody?
Yeah, Mooney. Yeah.
Unification
I'll look
Church.
It up. I don't know. I don't know it. I'm not familiar.
Is that the church up by Worlds of Fun? No.
I don't know about
was
that.
worldwide. But I can't think of the leader's name. Is Kim Young Moon, something like that. But he tried to get people under his denomination. Well, people with Pentecostal pastors were flying, bishops were flying there. They paid the Smith and had a big convention. They're trying to convert over to their religion.
Okay, so they're unificationists or Moonies.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So Lord put on my heart, son, just don't eat, just fast and pray. Fast and pray.
Mm-hmm.
So I come out from Mungan. I hit the streets in downtown Tokyo.
Just in Superman?
No, it's
just regular street attire. Okay.
So I started preaching in English. All of a sudden I started. I didn't know.
You didn't know what you were saying.
And people was gathering around and listening. And I had some Bible tracks in Japan. Guy came up. He said, "Man, how long you been speaking in Japanese?" I said, "It's the first time." It just came out, He said, "Man, you was preaching."
Yeah.
I experienced that,
Oh my gosh.
So this interview is bringing a lot back to me, stuff that I experienced. I hadn't shared in quite a while.
And when was that?
This was back in about 80, something about 88.
Did you come close to getting into any trouble because you were doing that? I mean, so you were in Tokyo, right? Is that not communist?
Yeah. No, I had more freedom there than in America.
Oh no! Wow.
But you mentioned that the Super Bowls. I go every year. Mm-hmm. And one year I went some city, and they was like waving me in like I was a part of. They had the gate open. I said, "No, I better not do that." They find out another part. But anyway, when I went to Tampa, this year's back, I forgot who was playing, but I go every year regardless where Chiefs go. So I got there, and Tampa was not as big as Miami, and they had the yachts out, people, all this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got down there. I didn't have Superman. I just had the Kate and Kansas City Chiefs shirt on.
Okay.
So I got down. I said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to run around the stadium like I do every Super Bowl." He said, "Well, we can't let you do it just because the security is really tight and everything." So one of the police said, "Do you got a ticket?" I said, "I don't have a ticket." Another police said, you mean your God didn't give you a ticket? Another police said, no, he God didn't give him a ticket. The lady police officer, she said, no, he got. I was like, wow, they unprofessional. They really like mocking. So I said, okay, son, regroup. Go back to your hotel. So my hotel was about 8 blocks away. I ran back to my hotel. He said, get in some prayer. I'm praying and praying and praying. He said, now go back. I went back, and when I got back to the stadium, you hear all the people coming out the stadium. I'm walking towards the stadium. So I walked right in the stadium, and there's one big officer standing there in the police. Like he should be in a football player. He had his arm like nobody. He turned his head, and I ran down the steps. I ran on the field, and I was running on the field. He was interviewing the players that just won the Super Bowl.
Oh, my gosh.
And I had my flag. I had my Jesus flag. And I seen them look like, what? So I went on the field, and they tackled me on the field to the police, and they was walking me out. I said, buddy, I don't know how you got through all this security. Well, when we get you outside, we're taking you to jail. They got me outside. I said, you're free to go. You free to go, sir. They didn't want to report that the man walked. So anyway, I'm at the Greyhound station. I had my banner rolled up, my suitcase. The lady came and looked at me and said, sir, is that a banner? I said, yeah. So can I see it? I unrolled and said, oh, there was the guy who was on Super Bowl field. I said, that was me.
Oh, my gosh.
But see, Lord, okay, you mock. Well, Lord had to laugh. Lord said, okay.
Right, because they were mocking, if I'm understanding it, the cops were mocking you saying, oh, your God didn't get you a ticket.
Right.
Your God didn't get you a ticket. And then you went back and ended up on the field.
Lord got me in there. Mm-hmm.
I'm conflicted.
I know you
I'm really conflicted with this.
You're going to take it back and say, yeah, he is super.
No, I mean, I know that it's coming from a good place, for sure.
But something that I have a hard time. This is my calling. Take the foolish thing and confound the wise. Now, them police may get saved behind that. Even the lawyer that gave me all them, the judge gave me all the years. Matter of fact, the one that gave me 3 years, judge, well-known judge, I ain't gonna name his name. I seen him at a mall. I said, Judge, I have no hard feelings about the time you gave me in jail. So the newsman called me and said, Michael, the judge Jeep turned over, he died. And everybody said, man, you sue. So I didn't sue. I just put it in prayer. I prayed about it. Mm.
So you were sentenced to 3 years in prison?
Yeah, 3.5 years, but we got out in 2 weeks. It's all in the newspaper.
For the Super Bowl incident.
Now this is like preaching on.
Oh,
it's like preaching in Westport back in '86.
Okay.
Oh, okay, a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I don't know that story.
the judge that convicted you for that, died shortly after giving you your sentence.
A year after. Mm-hmm.
And you were only incarcerated for 2 weeks.
Right.
So was it because he died, then a new judge came in and was able to free you from your time? How did you get out?
The same judge gave me what happened. Gave me the 3.5 years. So me and my friend, another brother, we get arrested together. We praying all night, like Book of Acts, praying in tongues. And so anyway, the judge said, hey, what's all noise? I said, we praying now. So the next day, the judge called the jail and said, I want to see Wheeler and Tucker back in my chambers. I got people in front of my house praying. They come in my courtroom praying. They getting out today. So he released us. He released us.
Okay.
Because you were being annoying.
And the minister friend, they was like in front of the courthouse praying over the bullhorn saying, "Free Michael Wheeler."
Oh my.
Goodness.
Yeah. Been around a long time.
So I'm going to need some explanation on something that I'm conflicted with. Mm-hmm. And this is maybe an opportunity where you can witness to me, I guess. Okay. When you went on that field for the Super Bowl, is it my understanding then that you knew that you were doing something illegal to get in there? Like you knew that you were going to run the risk. Like when you're in Westport, you're on public property, you're doing your thing. Like I can understand why you would have a reason to dispute. But in this particular case, you're trying to break and bend the rules to do something. And you're trying to do it in the glory of God, but isn't it sinful to do it in the way that you're doing it?
Yeah, I look back on that. I had more zeal and wisdom.
Yeah.
But the Lord, he honored it. Even though in my early stage and it's being a Christian, I said, okay, they're trying to mock me, but I use you to go in to really, it's like a testimony, but I'm looking back on it now, I wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
now, yeah.
Fair enough. And I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah.
I don't want to send the wrong message out to people who have the zeal of Christianity that you have, that it's okay to commit crime or go against the law and to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Like even like when they had the big protests, like Black Lives Matter, I went down Ferguson because in my heart, like, wow, people think I'm trying to mock the murder of Michael Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But as I went, people came, wanted to take pictures of me, and kind of eased the tension. They interviewed me on different TV stations there in St. Louis and hit it on Twitter and everything. And I was like, wow, this. And I think about Jeremiah or his calling, things he had to do,
mm-hmm.
walking around naked, But I got a book out. It's called the Casey Superman story called The Butt Naked Truth.
The Butt Naked Truth? Okay. Where can you find that book?
It's on Amazon, Casey Superman story. I was coming from New York. I'm downtown St. Louis preaching by the ark. So the police pulled us. Hey, what's going on? I said, I'm preaching the gospel. He said, now here, he got a handcuffed me. He put me in a wagon, took me to the local jail. So I said, Lord, here we go again. So I started preaching in jail cell. And this was the funniest testimony. So 2 jailers came in. What's going on now? I said, now, officer, I'm preaching the gospel in your jail cell. They said, well, shut up. I said, now, wait a minute now. If I can't preach in your jail cell, your street corner, I said, don't arrest me no more. I said, come on now. I said, you're a troublemaker. So they hit me in the stomach with the billy club. Said,
he hit you with the club?
Yeah, in my stomach, that's, trying to silence me. Anyway, they gave me a big old bag. I said, what's this for? It's for your clothes, take clothes. So all my clothes, I'll put in the bag. I'm butt naked. They marched me down the hallway. They put me in the cell, and they turned the air conditioner on. They told me they could put me in the cooler, so I didn't know what the cooler was. So I got that all like a meat cooler. So I sat down in the cold steel bunk, butt naked. I said, Jesus, I'm butt naked, Father. I'm just trying to do your will. I heard these words. Shall your nakedness separate you from my love? I said, no, sir, Lord. I stood up and I began to preach the butt naked truth in that jail cell. The naked truth. And then the other 2 guys in the other cell, I said, y'all guys over there, y'all want to get saved? He said, yeah, we want to get saved. He said, man, if you can preach butt naked, man, we want to get saved. I led them to the Lord.
Oh, wow.
Long story short, they released me later. And I went on by my business. Never had no court date or nothing on that. But then I put my heart, write the book. Your title, The Butt Naked Truth. Share your testimonies. It came out. It came out the same week that the pandemic started. The book came out.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put the link on that in the description of this podcast, and I'll put the graphic up in the video version of this as well. In fact, they're probably seeing it right now as we're talking. So when, and you're going to have to remind me, you said his name, the person who was killed by the police in St. Louis.
Michael Brown.
Michael Brown. Yes. So when that whole fiasco took place, what part of St. Louis was that? That was Ferguson. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was drawing a blank on that. So you felt compelled to go there during the protest. And so you didn't drive here today.
No.
You didn't drive here. How did you get to, have you always not driven, or did you stop driving recently?
I haven't owned a car in about 20 years. I just hop on the bus and go running or train.
Because you don't want a car? Like you don't want the hassle of it? You don't want the care of it? Or you just...
It's a combination. Then
okay.
I just live a simple life.
Yeah.
And then
okay. So did you take the train to Ferguson then?
I took a bus.
A bus.
Yeah. And doing the marches. They was talking about doing. I said, yeah. I just talked to him. I said, now you can do things the right way. You don't have to do it the wrong way. I talked to him, and then the police chief came over and said, heads up, there's some shooting a couple blocks over. I was right in the midst of all that the tear gas. I was there, and that's what I'm called. In Dallas, Texas, when they killed the 5 police,
Mm-hmm.
showed up there. I said, go. I was taking pictures with the officers and encouraging them in the city. I've been so many places I don't forgot.
Mm-hmm. You're like that song, I've Been Everywhere, Man. You know that song? You need your own version.
I did a video.
I'm going to ask a question, and it's not intended to be controversial, but it could be, and so I apologize in advance.
Yes,
but it's going to deal with you. Look, I don't know much about the city, the inner city.
Okay.
You've gone to the city. You've talked about the Lord sending you to the places of which family members have been tragically killed. So you know, for lack of better words, the hood, right? Like you understand the mentality.
Right.
I don't. And I think in today's society, there's a lot of talking and not a lot of listening. And I want to do more listening to understand why there is, because right now I don't necessarily agree based on what I know and what I feel, the backlash or the rioting or the protesting that takes place during these events, and in the the looting and the destruction of the property and the things that happens along those lines. And it sounds like, based on what I'm hearing, you have the same mentality, I would say, but you have an empathy for what these people are feeling, but you're wanting to minister to them to understand what would Jesus do, right? And so what I'm trying to understand is, what do you get backlash from the people of your race when you are in downtown? Because there was rioting that happened in Kansas City. There's people that are breaking into buildings. There's looting. When you go and talk to them, are you positioning yourself to having those people turn against you?
I think
am I asking the question right? Because I'm feeling really uncomfortable asking the question.
I don't know.
It's like when I'm there, okay, like I almost made some young people angry because I spoke truth. They was down there talking about F the police, F this, F that. You know, I said, I want to say something to y'all. You effing this police, you effing the president, you effing that. I said, what if one day you need a police and it don't show up? I said, you need to be careful. All the police ain't evil, you know, just like all the preachers ain't evil, all the blacks ain't evil, right? You know, and then I said, you saying Black Lives Matter? I said to her, if Black Lives Matter, why are we killing one another? If Black Lives Matter, why are we aborting our own babies? And all of a sudden, like,
yeah, they don't want to. Nobody wants to hear them, and I'm not. I was going to say, yeah, they don't want to hear that. I didn't want that to be taken like I was saying it was just that group of people.
Right.
No one wants to hear
with the hard truth. Yeah.
Yes, no one wants to hear the hard truth.
I guess that's what I was called to do. Cause on the bench there, I could have got stabbed again, but what really touched my heart? I go out there confronting young kids. I play football with them, just show love. So the young man's teacher found me on Facebook. Said, "Superman, you confronted this young guy because they was making YouTubes about beating each other and putting on YouTube, and you told him he got a good brain." So he wrote an essay about me confronting him, and out of 5,000 essay, he won top 20.
Oh my God!
And they had like a luncheon in North Kansas City for kind citizens. So he picked me. He read it, you know, and got a medal, and it just touched my heart. Now he's on his way to college. He in game banking, and the police told me, said, "Superman, you keep coming, man. You're making a difference down here."
That's right.
With the young kids.
It's true.
I know, and back in the 80s, the kids used to hang out and just fight, you know, then they got battered and, you know. I guess I'm like a soldier in the
in the Lord's army.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
You ever get scared or intimidated, or are you so comforted by the strength of the Lord that you don't feel that anymore?
I don't feel that anymore. After I had got stabbed, it's like, as I got stabbed, I went through that process. It's like put me on a different level. I don't fear, you know, no more, you know.
Right. Fear of the Lord, not the fear of man.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever had, so you've talked about being stabbed a couple times. What about gun crime? Have you ever gotten close to being shot or had been held at gunpoint?
Just shot at it in Seattle.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Then in L.A., somebody had shot. Went over my head or something.
Right. But nobody's like actually pointed a gun at you, and
only when I was in L.A., I was under by Skid Row. I was playing my little music box, and a guy came up. He unplugged it. He said, "That sounds pretty good." So he started walking away with my Walkman. You know, Walkman back in the day. Walking away with my walker. And I was like, Lord, that man got my equipment. I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, "Get it back."
Oh my!
I said, "Stop!"
Oh my!
I said, "Bring it back. That don't belong to you." He came back shaking, and he gave it to me. And he walked away, turned the corner. I went, phew. I said, "Wow, this worked." You know, I spoke the word over me. You know.
Yeah.
But I had some close encounters.
Wow. So you mentioned that, like, when you gave an example of being on the bus to Kentucky, and you saw a preacher that you knew, and he gave you some money and the love gifts and the donations and things. So how often does that happen?
It happened pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Even like when I went to Vegas, I hopped on the train one way. I knew I should be there, so I'm out doing my run and supporting the Chiefs, and I'm out and friends coming out, people taking pictures. One lady came up. "Can I get a picture with you?" I said, "Yeah, sure." I said, "Wow, your face looked familiar." She said, "I'm Mahomes' mother." It was Randy Mahomes.
It was.
Another fans coming out, and I said, "To me," I said, "Well, I get a bus back. Oh, here, it's your cash app." So I had this jacket made. You probably seen it called Bubba Jackson. It got Kansas City on it.
Yeah.
It's really colorful. It got all the Chiefs color. So I'm going to get my ticket. I walk in the Greyhound, and we just beat Vegas team. And the ticket man looked at me. He said, "Security. I'm like, wow, what's going on?" Security come running, man and lady. He said, "What's up? Look at that guy's jacket. He want me to sell him a ticket to Kansas City. They just beat our team." and they just shaking their head. I said, "Man, you got some humor, man, but don't."
Oh my God!
I'm having a flashback. Kansas. I said, "I'm getting it again."
Yeah. Right. You mentioned earlier that you broke your ankle running.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But is that your only running injury? Like you haven't had knees replaced, you haven't had hips replaced, you haven't nothing. You're all original.
Both of my injuries was on a plaza by the fountain. In 50 years, first injury, I was playing football, going out for a pass, and that bench by the fountain.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a defense because they didn't move.
Oh no!
I ran into it. Then I got these. That's what they call it. What are your muscles and your blood coagulating? Where I got real bad muscle cramps. I had to go.
Oh, lactic acid.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, so I went.
Yeah.
So over 2 weeks, I got good and went to Hollywood and ran my best time.
Oh wow!
But then the other one, which was last year, I just got back from L.A. Super Bowl. In Hi-Fi Stadium. I call it Wi-Fi.
SoFi.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi Stadium.
So I know I was all over Hollywood. I went to Capitol where they make the record.
Yeah.
I was all over preaching. Look, my son gave a warning. I cried out loud to repent, and security came out. "Sir, we got billionaires living around here. You need to move on." I said, "Sir, the up and the outers need the Lord just like the down and the outers." I was on a train ministering. So that Monday, it was a nice day. So I'm going for a run. I'm a football, I'm running through the plaza, and got something to throw your pass. So I went deep, and all of a sudden, that's when I guess I stepped in the hole and went, crack.
Snapped it.
And my ankle, the whole ankle was pointed this way.
Oh no!
I saw y'all screaming. So people gathered around just like a movie, probably about 30 or 40 people. Then my friend, then he like, oh my God. So we need an ambulance. To call the ambulance. And my football right beside me. While waiting on the ambulance, I said, "Anybody want to go out for a pass?" I'm trying to get a man off my foot. So the ambulance came, and they took me right across the street.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I said I could have hopped across the street, saved $500.
Yeah.
So when I came in, and nurses and stuff would see me coming in, like he was like grabbing me because it looked so gruesome. So they got me and fixed me up, and then I got on out. But that was 1 year ago, and I ran in there, prayed like.
Yeah.
I was on crutches. I was on a walker, knee boot. I was on a knee scooter. And I'm off all, and I feel so good.
Oh, I love that.
To be my age and
Yeah, that's amazing.
What's next for you? as we get close to wrapping this up, like, I mean, you've lived a lot of, you've lived quite a life in 72 years. What do you have goals or aspirations or something that you want to accomplish before you have no choice but to retire for good?
I don't know. People talking about political, but no, I'm gonna stick with preaching. But it's kind of funny. Sly James, he's come to our meetings. We had a group called the People's Movement. So Sly James used to come back then. I said, "You're gonna be our next mayor." He said, "Thanks, so." Yeah, but he came to mayor. Even Quentin Lucas used to run these races together, and now he's the mayor. But my goal is just to get that foundation, and my vision is like going to help the city, inner city, different parts of the city. You know, a lot of young kids are angry. You know, a lot of young, like their fathers. You know, and my heart goes out because I was fortunate to be raised with mom and dad, but yeah, a lot of that anger.
Yeah, a lot of unforgiveness.
And all these shooting in Kansas City. You know, almost every other week that go by is another murder. You know. That's my heart cry to see. Kansas City is being real nice, you know, good, nice things like say in the but what is a good city with all the crime, you know, and murder? You know? So that's what I'm focusing on right now to try to awaken some of the pastors. Come on, bring a team. Let's join them. Let's do it. Yeah.
So before we started, I told Casey Superman, who our guest was next week, and he had a pretty good story.
Oh, well, let's use this as an opportunity. Apparently, I can't talk, so go ahead and promote that.
Is that Trent Green?
That's okay. Trent Green. So next week, we get to talk to Trent Green, former Kansas City quarterback, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. And so, of course, you know, I thought, boy, we could probably mention any sports figure name, because I even mentioned Rex Hudler earlier because we talked to Ryan Lefevre. And and he had a story about Rex. Anyway, so but I love the Trent Green story.
Yeah. It used to be called Sprintford before T-Mobile. So
Sprint Center.
I'm out. I just got back doing a documentary. So a friend of mine said, "Brother Wheeler, that's Trent Green still over there." So I ran over to him and said, "Excuse me, sir, do you know how to throw a football?" He started laughing. The streets are blocked off. I said, "What you want, man?" So I'm going right. I'm going to hook left. I'm going deep. And I ran. It's about a 45-yard. I caught it in stride, and I ran back. I said, "Tell Andy Reid, I'm a free agent. I'm ready to be drafted." And the other part of it, I didn't tell you, how I got it into the football. I had this vision to be a walk-in. So I walk out to the facility, and we had Alex Smith. I walk in. I said, "Hey, Andy Reid, you know, I would love the Trafford Chiefs football team." Andy started laughing. The whole team started laughing. I said, "Dude, just too old and too little. So let's give Alex the ball and watch what happened." I ran down the field. I faked out everybody. I went in for the touchdown, and then I woke up.
You had me hook, line, and sinker.
Wow, how does that happen?
I mean, the power of the Lord has done some pretty remarkable things with this guy.
True.
I mean, why wouldn't I believe he could probably compete with those guys?
But I be having fun. I go to Super Bowl. They be throwing me long pass. I be going to catch it. And the fans like, "Dude, you should be in the Super Bowl." Yeah. But when they found out my age, I'm a grandfather.
Michael Wheeler, it is so cool to meet you, and thank you for taking the time to come out here. I do, before we imparting, want to tell you that the fine folks over at Brown Piercy Cattle Company are going to send you to your doorstep, okay? 4 premium thick cut steaks, 4 of their famous steak burgers, 2 family size roasts, and 4 pounds of 93% lean ground beef. So for a little bit anyway,
yeah.
Just a small token of our appreciation for not only taking the time to come in and be a part of this podcast, but also just, hey, I'm just going to say it on behalf of Kansas City as a community. Thank you for what you do. And because, and again, I apologize for thinking you were a freak show. I mean, for the people who are watching the video version of this, they already left. You got your cape, right? You got your cape, you got the hat.
Yeah, we'll take some pictures too.
We want to get some pictures, but go ahead and just, you got your football there. I've never asked this before. but I feel this on my heart, so I'm just going to do it. I would like for you to pray over this podcast because Jilly and I have started doing this recently. Okay. And obviously we want to talk to a lot of different people of all walks of life with different compelling stories. But the foundation, which is important to us, is the importance of Christianity. Yes. And doesn't necessarily be that every particular episode is about, that, but that is the foundation of this episode. So if you wouldn't mind, I would love for you to pray over us in this podcast and those listening.
Well, I thank you for this broadcast. Lord, I thank you, Lord, for the vision, oh God, for the broadcast, Lord, reaching out and touching the community, different leaders and different walks of life, oh God, that are ministering to your people. It's all about love, bringing people together in the spirit of love and peace and joy. Anoint them and just bless them, oh God. You send the line up, oh God, from the north, south, east, and west. The testimony is going to heal, overcome by the word of our testimony, oh God, and it's drawing the people. So we ask this in your covering, and we just careful to give you the praise for the exciting things you're going to do with this broadcast. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen and amen.
Amen and amen. That was so freaking cool.
My friends say cool beans.
Go do the microphone. I can't hear you.
My friend always say cool beans, and I say cool beans, green beans, mashed potatoes, and gravy.
Oh, man.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for being here. KC Superman, Michael Wheeler. Again, thank you to Jeez almighty. Brown Piercy Cattle Company, also Clean AF. Check them out in the description of this podcast. For Michael Wheeler, Jillian Gregg, I'm Ronnie Phillips, and that is episode 32 of the Papa Ron Podcast.
You've been listening to the Papa Ron Podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, hit subscribe now on a podcast platform. Follow the Papa Ron Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And while you're there, like, comment, and share. Until next time, thanks for listening to the Papa Ron Podcast. Papa Ron Podcast. Papa Ron Podcast.